The Brooklyn Nets are losers of 8 consecutive games, despite the recent return of Kyrie Irving. Matt, I have a very simple question for you. With KD still out and James Harden seemingly wanting out, what's the ceiling for this Brooklyn Nets team? Can they get it right? Is this even a fixable situation at this point?
You know what? I'm led to believe, with the way that Kevin Durant was playing without Kyrie Irving before he got hurt, I have to believe that this is still fixable. I think that, for one, let's just take everything into context. Yes, they've lost 8 straight, but they're only 4.5 games back of first place. So this is basically one solid winning streak away from completely erasing all of the issues.
Sure.
2, James Harden apparently has some hamstring issues. Obviously, there's also rumors that he wants out. But if you get Kevin Durant back, if you can just stay afloat for a while, keep up with the rest of the East that is very competitive, and you get Kevin Durant back, you're going to be able to recreate what you did and at least make it to the second round of the playoffs. It'll be at that point when you need a Kyrie Irving or a James Harden to kind of help carry the load, which is the issue right now. And honestly, the problem is that because you don't have Kevin Durant, you have to rely on the rest of the team, and the rest of the team is not that solid when you don't have your bona fide superstar and a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that makes sense, and they certainly sound optimistic. If you listen to Kyrie Irving's post-game pressers, he feels that they're going to be able to right the ship and get this thing moving forward to where they want to, which is obviously a championship. But there are question marks at every level of this organization, if you ask me. And it starts with the fact that Kevin Durant isn't there. He was playing at an MVP level before his injury. He was my MVP before that injury. But the biggest thing to me, and you mentioned it a bit, the East is very, very strong. There are no weak matchups as an individual or as a team as early as round 1 in the Eastern Conference. We're looking at Chicago. We're looking at Cleveland, who's clearly all in, made an early deal before the deadline. We're looking at Miami, Toronto are all formidable opponents, not to mention, obviously, the Milwaukee Bucks, who appear to be the Eastern Conference favorites. So the Nets aren't going to have an easy go of it beginning in round 1. And obviously, Kyrie Irving has his issues off the court and on the court. And it appears to me that Kyrie Irving and James Harden aren't gelling too well. And again, with KD not on the court to, kind of just even things out, there's a lot of question marks. And are we just counting on the fact that they're going to be able to figure it out in the next couple months? Here we are again for the second consecutive year, not even really sure what this big three looks like together. I mean, we don't know the exact number because it is pretty minuscule, but 16 or so games this big three has played together. We still don't really know what it looks like. And there's just a lot of factors that are preventing the Nets from accomplishing their goal. And I really don't know at this point, who do you even feel comfortable putting them ahead of if we're looking at the top of the Eastern Conference?
I'm not putting the Nets in front of anybody in the East, but I don't think it is a situation that is so far gone that you have to try and blow it up. I think that with Kevin Durant coming back, that is...
Let me be clear, I don't think you can blow it up either. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I guess my point is, similar to I think how a lot of people look at the LA Lakers right now with their injury woes and players being out, certain guys not playing well without, LeBron in or Davis in.
Sure.
Nobody is freaking out about people are freaking out about the Lakers, but there are a lot of people who are still confident that the Lakers can still make the playoffs.
Right.
I'm still confident that the Nets can make it to the playoffs. And once you get to the playoffs and you have a lineup, like you always talk about, you have a fourth quarter lineup that features James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
That's going to be hard to beat no matter who you are. I'm not going to say they're favorites, but I think that this is still a savable season for them.
I think so too. I mean, and this is another reason. Are we even sure Steve Nash is a good coach?
That's another great point.
Or an above average coach? I mean, obviously last year was his first season ever as a head coach. And it seemed to me that his game plan in the postseason, especially in that Bucks series in the Eastern Conference semifinals, was Kevin Durant, you got to play every minute of this game.
Every single one. and drop 50.
And that's what you got to do. And there wasn't a lot of game planning, it appeared to me, that was going into that series from the Brooklyn standpoint, and there wasn't really a coaching edge. Mike Budenholzer outcoached Steve Nash. That's not something prior to the Bucks winning a championship that we saw happen many times. So there's a question mark in coaching. There's a question mark to me at every level of this organization. Do they have the ability? Do they have the talent to win a title? 100%. But am I going to put them above the Bucks at this point? No. Do I like them better than Chicago Bulls? Perhaps. But still, there's Philadelphia 76ers. I don't know. Embiid's going to give them issues. And, the Nets might like their chances, but every single series that they will play in the playoffs is looking like a 7-game series. And with that lack of depth that we talk about, that's going to be an issue. So it will remain to be seen. A lot of questions to be answered. Is James Harden even going to be a net in a couple weeks? What is Kyrie Irving status look like? So a lot of questions to be answered before the trade deadline, before the playoffs begin. But that's going to do it for us here now, though. For Scott Proctor, my guy Matt Morris. We'll catch you next time.